If you guys are new here and maybe you just watched this for the first time, it's pretty simple. If we like something, we give it an upvote. If we dislike something, we give it a downvote. And for those watching live, there is a live audience score. Every time we upvote or down something, you can upvote or downvote something, you can also hit a +1 or a -1 in the chat, and I will record that and I will give the audience score. So we will have the official Popcast score, which will be the average of those two numbers, and the audience score, which will be the general average of all of your +1s and up and -1s.
And if you leave a super chat with an upvote or downvote, then it counts as double.
Yeah, if you really want to like down something or up something, super chat, because we're poor. I'm coming. No, I just figured that's a good. I think that's a good bonus though. Like, what else do you get for super chat? You know what I mean? Makes sense.
That's true. Yeah.
All right, John Burns says for $2, next time you see Scott Grimes, his acting rocks. I'm gonna assume that's an upvote.
Yes. No. Well, I'm just saying, like, he's right. We will definitely tell him that, John.
Yes.
He did a great job last night.
Yeah. I think he was actually, the last time we talked to him, I think he was actually hinting at it, but he couldn't actually say it.
He did, yeah, because we asked him when the next time he was going to sing was, and he couldn't say a lot about it. And so he ended up saying great, of course. We ended up tweeting him right after the show was over and told him how awesome he was. So,
right. Okay. You got the double upvote, my friend. Okay, so let's jump right into it. We start off with Scott Grimes playing guitar.
Upvote. What a great voice.
He does have a good voice. I will also give it an upvote.
And you know what? Also, I don't know if I should give it also another upvote, but actually, I'm going to give it another upvote. I love the tone of the beginning of this Orville episode. It felt to me like a season 2 Orville episode, and that kind of neutral, they're all like each other kind of thing. Now that will change as we go forward in the episode, but I felt very comfortable at the beginning of this episode. Back to like what we really like about the show.
Okay. I almost wanted to give it an upvote just because I see Ensign Turco there. So
I thought you were going to say that. Yeah.
Anytime Ensign Turco's on screen, it's an upvote from me. Okay. I am a fan of the Turco. This actually did more than just showcase Scott Grimes' voice and abilities. This was foreshadowing because of the time he's going to end up spending with that lady from what was it called? Lasting Impressions.
Yeah.
So this is actually proper foreshadowing. This is proper storytelling right here.
Well, I mean, yeah, the guitar, but also he goes into the phone and he starts sharing that with Charlie Burke.
Yeah, see that wasn't required though. That felt like, oh, it's gonna be about that now. They could have ignored the phone and made it more of a twist to me.
I felt like it was a good callback to that previous episode, which is what I feel like these shows need to do more of. To tie us back to things. I actually did not think, like, seeing that. I didn't go, oh, well, it's definitely that's going to happen in this episode. I didn't think that. I thought it was a nice moment to connect, to show a new character, to reattach something else previously that he had done. I thought it was actually done very nicely. But then again, I'm not as like genius about like everything that's going to happen in the episode and see it all and understand it like maybe you are.
Yeah, listen, John Burns has a good point here. Please like the video if you were here watching right now. Hit that button and let people know. Here's the deal. We look like we might know what we're doing, and technically we do, but we don't actually know how to host anything, so we always forget to ask people to like the upvote.
We do.
So if you can do that. Charlie Burke looking smoking here. Orville and Agent said, but something's off with this crew, in my opinion. And I actually do agree with you. And there's going to be a couple downvotes coming up in the future of this episode because of that exact reason.
Yes.
Yeah, and Winters.
Well, that's why Seth's, that's why she's Seth's girl.
What a lady.
He doesn't date the uncute ones.
I want to see him hook up with like Isaac. You know?
What?
Yeah, like a femmed out version of Isaac.
Okay. You want to see?
I want to see a femme Isaac, bro.
Okay.
What's
you want to see a girl Kalon? Is that what you're saying?
What's the female version of Isaac? What's that? What would that be called?
Isaaca?
Isabel or something?
I don't. Is that a thing?
Is
there a female version of Isaac?
I want to see femme Isaac. That's what I want to see. I think that's unreasonable. I'm sure there's got to be some female Kaylin out there. You know,
there are none. No. We've addressed this.
I'm just saying. It'd be
because
nice.
there's no sexual. There's no like. There is no sex.
Just saying that's what I want to see. Okay, is that a problem?
Right. You don't need to share your fetishes.
Can we get some Kalon cosplay out there with some?
You don't need. Yeah, you don't need to share your fetishes.
Sexy Kalon cosplay, please. Over here, Ann Winters just pounding that alcohol. I bet you $500 that's real alcohol. All right, so this is when she goes to the phone. This is like a hard foreshadowing for me. I'm not gonna downvote it or whatever, but it like right then I was like, oh, okay, so this episode's gonna have this character in it because they're like showing her face and everything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I wish they wouldn't have done that. I wish they would have left it a surprise.
So you felt like, okay, why can't it just be a callback? Why did you think it had to be that way?
Well, because the way TV works, the second you show someone's face, they get a credit, and that means they get paid.
That's not true. You have to have a speaking line to get paid.
No, that's not true.
You get a minimum standard, or else you get a yes. In order to, you got to be
right. So at the very least, she's getting a minimum standard for nothing. Why would they do that if they weren't going to have her in the show?
Well, they don't have to pay her to show her face. She didn't act if she didn't act in the episode, not to show her picture.
I'm pretty sure I'm right here on this one.
We'll look up that. If they show your picture on the screen, you have to be. I'm sure that you have to be paid.
I mean, it depends. I mean, it's.
They paid her already for that work on the previous episode.
Stock photography, though. You know, it's like.
No, it's probably a photo from a previous episode, so she already got paid for it. Do you think they paid? They paid. Well, here's a good one. Back to the Future. Did they pay Crispin Glover when they showed him in Back to the Future 2? No. In fact, they got in trouble because they did show him and he didn't get a credit.
Yeah, well, they should have paid him. They wouldn't have gotten in trouble. John Burns, double upvote for Lieutenant Turco. She gets kinder every time. She's so awesome. I'm thinking that she's going to betray the Orville and Gull Ensign Row. Absolutely. I'm going to give you that double upvote, sir. And I would love to see more Ensign Turco. Or Lieutenant Turco now. My bad. Is Lieutenant Turco now? Coming up. Moving on up. All right. Moving on from this. Let's scan past this. All right. So now they're talking about what's it called? Can you pronounce that word for me? Because I have mud mouth.
You want me to pronounce what word?
The word Aaronov Device or whatever.
I don't know what it is. I can't remember what it was.
The time travel machine. It's called the Aaronov.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember what it was.
Oh, I see.
You have to show it on the screen. I don't remember how to say it.
All right, let's find out.
Aristov or something like that.
Aris something. Well, whatever it is, the time travel thing, the device that allows them. Oh, Aaronov. Device.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So it looks like Isaac and Lamar has been working on the Aaronov device, and they've made some serious breakthroughs. Enough for them to randomly play with sandwiches. That's such an Orville thing.
That's such an Orville thing, right?
Can I tell you, though, I really wish we would have gotten a payoff on that sandwich that they programmed to come back in 3 months.
I know. I had the same thing. And maybe we will. It may not be over. Because how long were they gone and came back? Maybe it hasn't been 3 months yet. So we may get a payoff on that in episode 8. You know what I mean? Or maybe even next episode.
Yeah, maybe. I found it really interesting too when he goes, I'm going to send this sandwich exactly 10 seconds into the past. And when he says that, when he makes his intentions clear, like a sandwich materializes. And then he has to actually go through with it so that there's no temporal paradox. Imagine breaking the universe over an egg sandwich.
That's true. I thought that was kind of scary, right? The fact that was even possible.
Right. I feel like just saying you're going to send it shouldn't be enough for it just to appear. Because I feel like they could have used that mechanic in some way. you know, and they didn't reapproach that mechanic because actually at the end I thought they were going to use that exact same mechanic at the end. He goes, well, we can have it fixed in 6 months, and then he could have been like, well, then in 6 months I'm going to send this back, whatever. But they didn't reuse that mechanic.
I thought that was going to happen too, but yeah, I was okay with it.
All right, so yeah, they're going to wait 3 months for the sandwich. That's fine.
I think it's funny how they're having like this meeting, and he kind of comes in. He's like, "Are you ready for lunch?" He totally interrupted what was happening with the captain talking to John. Right? Hey, lunchtime.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like totally interrupted him, and then walked in, makes a sandwich. I mean, it's such a Gordon thing to do, to just kind of, do whatever he wants to do in that situation. Right. He's true to his character.
Yeah, we got oh my God, Ted Danza is back.
Ted Danson, yeah.
Ted Danson's back. I love this actor so much. All right, so what he says, look, that Aaronov device is ridiculously dangerous. Anyone that has the ability to time travel is going to be a problem. You need to get to our high security facility ASAP. And apparently it's not remotely high security, which is
well, and I do have a little bit of issue, and it's
I'm
interesting.
I'm going to download that when we get to it, though.
Yeah, so the Aaronov device, right? So just some clarity. Dr. Aaronov did it with John, right? John's a part of this.
No, that was in the very first episode. The doctor they go to see that was able to make the device that can increase time or whatever.
Yeah.
That's Dr. Aaronov. But John and Isaac fiddled with it and made it better.
Yes. Okay, good. So I do have a downvote as well. Not this, this is a cool scene, good graphics.
Yeah, I'm downvoting this though because they never really explained how the most secure facility on the planet or in the universe is not secure whatsoever. Like, is there a leak? Is there a leak in their, in their communique? How do the Kalon know what they're going to do?
That's my downvote. Is we don't know how the heck. How would the Kalon even know that the device is on the Orville? So that leads us to believe something. Now maybe it's not a downvote. Maybe it's yet to come. Maybe there is some sort of a snitch or some sort of a bad guy here amidst, in our midst that we just don't know yet.
Ooh, it's
maybe
Charlie
Isaac.
Burke. Dun, dun, dun.
Right. That's your first thought. Obviously, it's not Charlie Burke because you learn more about it, but something isn't right here, but they do not explain it. And so I think that's where the downvote comes in.
I think John's right. It's actually it's Ensign / Lieutenant Turco, and she's gonna Lieutenant Rowe these people.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it deserves a downvote now because it doesn't make sense. The story wise, it doesn't add up to the story. It just seems like a plot device.
Right now, yeah. But maybe it'll pay off later.
Yeah, if it pays off in the future, then we'll double up vote it then. But for now, it seems like a plot device to get the Kalon there so they can use so they can, go back in time. Or whatever. I
love these visual effects. I'm going to get a general upvote for just the visual. The team did so good making everything. I cannot say again how much this feels like a movie. It does not feel like an episode of TV. To me, I sat back, I watched it. I felt like I was watching a movie, frankly speaking.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
Me too. Me too, John. $2 super chat. Now I want an egg salad sandwich. Yes, I did too. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just craving that.
I gotta be honest. I wasn't even considering it until you mentioned it, and now that's what I want.
Right?
I don't even like egg salad, but I do like a mean egg sandwich. Like, with the yolk is a little runny. Oh, God, I haven't eaten all day.
My wife's getting me a tuna sandwich for later.
I'm eating leftover burgers. I was in Yosemite this last weekend, and I made enough burgers to feed like 50 people, and only like 3 people ate. So I have an entire like 30 burgers that I brought back. I'm like, I refuse to let these go to waste. I'm gonna eat burgers for the next 3 weeks.
Freeze them, baby.
Yeah. All right. This whole battle scene is good. And I want to upvote it, and so I'm going to, but I'm gonna upvote it with a little caveat here. I feel like there's too many battle scenes. This whole series.
Okay, that's fair actually, because it does seem like every episode we have and I don't blame them for falling in love with creating these battle scenes because it's something that's not easy to do and it looks great. But you're right, there could be. We don't necessarily have to have a major battle every episode.
Yeah, every episode is a major battle, and it looks good, so I gave it an up vote. But we saw 2 Union ships get destroyed already at the start of this battle. 4 Union ships got destroyed last week against the Krill. 6 like at this moment, I think that on episode 6 we have lost like 12 Union ships.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's quite a bit. I feel you. I do feel like it's still good though.
Yeah, I see your +1s, guys. I see them. I'm hitting them. I promise. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I gave it a +1, but like I think next week if we see yet another battle scene, I'm not gonna.
I'll take this upvote too. I think.
You want to upvote it too?
Yeah, because I love how. Yeah, I just love how the whole. I just love everything about it. I love the way you show what a skilled pilot Gordon is. Yeah. They're working as a team. It's just really, really great.
Yeah, Geek Flag, you said, I'm sorry, too many battle scenes. The Planetary Union is dealing with 2 threats, but Kalon and the Krill. Yeah, you're right, except for every episode, it's a big, giant, multi-ship battle. And the reason I'm not saying, oh, I don't want to see that. I'm saying you got to save that. And so you can savor it. Yeah. You don't, look, when my kids ask me for Flaming Hots every day, if I always give them Flaming Hots, then Flaming Hots are no longer special. But if I go, hey, you can wait until after your chores are done or later on in the week, then it's special. So same concept. If you always give us these amazing battle scenes, it's not going to be as special when we really need it to be special.
Yeah, the big Kalon Union battle that took place with the Krill, that one giant battle that was just amazing back during season 2, like we get a little taste of that. But the next time that comes, we may not enjoy it as much if we've already seen this over and over again.
Right.
Still a great job by the visual effects team.
John Burns says they lose comms with where they're going. Wonder why. Yeah. They can't communicate with it. I really hope that they pay off the whole like most secure facility in the galaxy is instantly destroyed. Like we need to know what that leak is. Okay, so Tala was supposed to go destroy the Aaronov device. She gets incapacitated, so Gordon volunteers. And he starts running down there to do it. I knew right there, too, that something was going to go on with Gordon because...
Well, of course. Yeah. I mean, something was, he's time travel Gordon and we're overloading the ship at the same time. I mean, you could just see it coming right here.
Yeah, this is a really cool shot, by the way, coming up. Check this out.
Yeah, major upvote for this shot.
Yeah, I'm upvoting.
I love that shot. I love that zoom.
That shot is sick, too, yeah.
Look
at this. Nice. This shot right here. That was so rad, bro.
Upvote that for me. That's movie quality shooting right there, bro. That is so good.
It showed all like the what are they called? The principal branch theory. It's like all the different options. Like that was like Gordon. That was all the different ways he could have fallen from that, and it showed it. That's just so rad, man.
Did you upvote me on that one?
I did, sir.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, they break free from it was kind of interesting because like they break free and I couldn't figure out why. I guess they broke free because of the thing. They get away and we find out that Gordon's missing.
I love this nebula. Beautiful. Beautiful colors.
The purple nebula.
Stunning. Very, very beautiful. All right, so Malloy's gone. Gordon's gone. Where'd he go? They can't find him on the ship. They can't find his organic material anywhere. He just disappeared in there. Assuming it has something to do with the Aaronov device, which makes sense. All right. Yeah, I get the whole movie experience. I'm just saying, like, as the series as a whole, you gotta. It's not just about the individual episode, but as the season as a whole, which means you got to save the big battle stuff. Okay. So we get a call. They get a hail. I would like to know how they got the hail from Gordon. Did he work like something out?
Yeah, there must be some. It says that it was encoded on a sub-quantum carrier wave. So I don't really understand the science behind it, but basically it's a sub-quantum means that it's through time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. That's something that we don't understand the science of, but apparently Gordon's able to do it from Earth in 2015.
Archmage, the way he got blasted to Earth is that they actually explain that. Apparently, the Aaronov device uses your subconscious as its destination point. Same way it did with Kelly in season 2.
Which is why he was thinking about the girl in the cell phone and got sent back to that time.
Right. Which means that if that ever happened to me, I would end up in Shakira's room because that's what I'm always thinking of. So,
wow, I figured that. Or
Shakira, when you bounce like that,
or maybe a Dota 2 match, which would not be good for you. That would not be good.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're killing me!
Oh my God, this guy is this giant red guy. Yeah. So it basically encoded something on some carrier wave, and he made it so that it would get to this particular area of space at exactly that same time. So Gordon Malloy is doing some high-level math using technology that does not exist in 2015.
Well, and you got to wonder what he's doing it with. Like, what device did he use, or how? I don't know.
Right, technology that doesn't exist in 2015, and he's doing high-level math, and he's also assuming
like what did he use?
Where the ship is going to be.
Yeah, well, how did he? Like, what did he use to send it? Like, if you send a radio wave, you use, you got to use a device, some sort of a satellite. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he could have used any satellite dish or something to do it. Maybe, possibly.
Yeah, I feel like this wasn't explained very well, because, if it was Isaac or something, I would get it. He would figure it out. It is.
It's Corbin.
I'm sorry. Is Shakira single again?
It doesn't matter. Keep going. That should not stop you like that.
My bad. Look, it's like this. Look, it's very simple. If it was Isaac that got sent back or Lamar that got sent back, I get it. They figure out a way to get, they can guess where the ship's going to be or when, and they can figure out the math on how to get that carrier wave to that area. But I don't believe for a second Gordon Malloy found that, hobbled together the technology in order to do this, and then did that high level math to figure out exactly when the ship was going to be there and how long the carrier wave would take to get there.
I mean, he is a Union officer, and maybe this is something that you're trained to do. Maybe it's not as complicated. We just don't understand it. I think the mistake here is that it's not explained. It didn't take me out of the moment, though, and I wasn't that worried about it when it happened.
That's fair. John Burns for $2. It happens again. Ed and Gord end up gladiators. I hope so. That sounds great. Thank you, John. Archmage asked, did he invent transparent aluminum?
Wrong universe, baby.
That's clever. I still love that scene, though.
That's so great.
Yeah. You know why? Because Montgomery Scott wasn't typing on that keyboard because he was like, he had his fingers like this, and he was like,
yeah, that was hilarious. Going to town on it.
Yeah, he was also stuck in the wood. Where was the tech? Yeah. I know. I so don't want to download this, but it seems to be a hole here.
There was no place to explain it.
Right.
Not really. I mean, how would they have explained it? Because, I mean, I guess would it have taken us? I mean, why would you have explained it? Now, they wouldn't explain it, right? Because they obviously understand it. We didn't get a chance to see him to be able to see him do it to explain it. So there's really no place to explain what happened.
They should have. That's actually what they should have done. I'll tell you what. They should have had a shot of him in some cabin or somewhere, and he's fiddling with his communicator or something.
But the problem is it was supposed to be a surprise. So what are you saying? They go back and show it after the fact?
Yeah, but
Because the communicator was a surprise.
There's a moment where he's explaining that he spent 3 years in the woods.
Yeah.
At that moment, instead of telling us what he was doing, he could have been talking, and they could have been showing that to us.
They don't flashback in the Orville. There's no flashback stuff. That's not how they storytell.
I mean, but that would have been a way of explaining that, though.
Sure, but I mean, there's no natural way to go through that. We just have to kind of believe it, and then maybe in the future they'll pay off where he does something. Part of the problem of making a character kind of an idiot, and I don't want to say this about, it's not about Scott Grimes, but it's Gordon Malloy is kind of not taken seriously, and he's kind of played off as the fool a little bit. And so it does become hard to believe that he's capable of doing something in this situation.
Yeah. I agree. Okay. Let me get out of here. All right.
Cool graphics.
Yeah. Yeah, the graphics are great. Graphics are really good.
All this board stuff is just a little different.
Yeah, we actually saw these screens. These aren't like green screen. They didn't like inject these graphics. These are actual screens. Like they actually made these HUDs, which is awesome.
It's so cool.
John Byrne on Shakira's detail. Brian disappears. Ring. Oh my goodness! You guys are gonna get me in trouble with my wife. Okay. All right, and that's when they listen to the message. In case this reaches you. All right, so we're going to move past this part. Now, Hulu is not being friendly right now to my screen.
Oh.
All right. So this is when they figure out, that's when they see the old Gordon, if I can actually get it to click through any time now.
Oh, on the screen? Yeah.
I'm going to refresh.
They did a good job with the aging they did a good job aging him.
I feel like I did a better job aging him on my thumbnail, to be fair.
Well, you got him as a little bit younger version, right? You picked the 10-year. This is like, I think, further along.
I suppose so. Yeah. Yeah, they did a pretty good job. So he died at 96. Hey, man, nice full life.
Way to go. Yeah.
Yeah. And what they explain is it actually hasn't happened yet, right? It actually hasn't solidified because they haven't decided what to do yet. And I like that explanation. It was a good explanation. That's why they were able to see the information prior to their action, which is
that
great.
Deserves an upvote, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. That does.
Most shows don't do a good job of kind of explaining the time travel elements, and I thought they did a good job here.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so moving on. They decide they're going to use the warp core. Oh my God, the quantum drive and the Aaronov device to travel back to get Gordon, which I love. That's exactly what you would do.
That's what they would do.
Right, 100%. Now here, and I'll upvote that. I'm going to upvote that action right there, and you guys let us know. Right up until this point. +1, -1. I know you guys already have, but do it again. Now, the problem is they're acting exactly like the Orville crew should act when one of their own is gone. But very quickly, they stop acting like what the Orville crew should act like. And that's what stresses me out about this episode. There's a lot of good things about this episode, but the way the crew responded when they got to 2015 or 2025, I guess, it was really out of character, and we're gonna show that right now. All right, so they didn't make it back to 2015. They made it to 2025. I guess
they were short
10 years because they didn't have enough juice, right?
Yep, they ran out of. It's so close to dilithium. I thought that was hilarious. It's like dinosome or dinosium or something like that.
Dicium.
Right. And the fact that it's on Earth is interesting.
John Burns says, Ed's my brain hurts like, oh, I've gone cross-eyed. And Mango says +1 upvote for actually making the screens. Yes. Fair. All right, so we get there. So they're 10 years late because they couldn't make it back. And they decide that because they bust up the ship, they need this mineral. I'm just going to call it dilithium because I can't.
Something going on here with what the heck is going on with Kelly's face?
Yeah, right.
Like every single incident, everything going on, and I noticed this throughout the episode is she has very sharp characteristics. She looks, both her and Ed, if you notice this season, their characters are a lot different than we're used to. There's a lot more.
What happened? Hold up. Is there a policy violation?
Oh, maybe.
Oh. I guess because I was playing too much of the video. It says temporarily blocked. It'll come back on right now.
You're playing too much video.
Shakira contacted her lawyers.
Are we still on the video? Or is it still going?
I think we are because they're talking. Suspended for policy violations. All right, I guess because I was playing too much of the video? What policy violations?
I don't know. Were you doing longer than 8-second stuffs?
I don't think I was. I've been doing this a while, so.
Double dumb downvote on you. YouTube does it again. Come on, YouTube.
Wow, really? Are you joking right now? This is silly.
Can you guys hear us? No, they can't, right?
I don't know.
Is it still going?
I don't know. Let's find out.
I always wondered how long.
Yeah, your stream is no longer being blocked due to copyright.
Hey, we're back. What was it?
And now it just says your stream is no longer being blocked due to copyright issues. Okay.
That's weird.
Hey guys, can you guys see us? So
fractured vision is the right comment.
we're going for like 3 hours strong, and YouTube's like, you know what? They're doing too much. We're gonna shut them down. And they said policy violations, and then said 3 minutes later your stream is no longer blocked due to copyright issues. Well, what are you talking about? Pick a lane, dude.
Yeah,
I like what fractured vision. Not blocked. What a ridiculous.
I like what fractured vision here says. Hell, Hulu should be paying you to do these. Absolutely, giving all this great advertising.
John Burns. Remember when Boris laid an egg? I want eggs. And then he goes, obviously my $2 super chat brought it back.
Oh, that was it. You're paying money. That's it. YouTube's like, wait, we're losing cash.
YouTube's like, wait, hold up. John's still there. Turn it back on.
Listen, if you don't super chat us like every 3 minutes, it just turns us off.
Shakira calls YouTube and got it back up. Every time we have a stream, we tend to like latch on to one stupid thing I say for like the rest of the show. I've noticed that.
Shakira, baby.
Now it's Shakira.
At least nobody's mentioned Thailand yet.
Oh, you had to bring up Thailand. We don't talk about Thailand.
Yeah, we do.
We don't talk about Thailand.
All right. So
let me hold on. Let me get.
Dare we show anything?
Let me get everything back set up here.
You're gonna have to put it on stills or something. But so basically, I was talking while Brian's getting this set up. I was talking about Ed and Kelly's characters seem very different this season. They seem a lot more serious. Kelly especially seems a lot more serious, a lot more, in officer mode all the time. That's what they seem like. Very rarely do they seem to come out of officer mode. Yeah,
so it's when you started criticizing Kelly is when we got policy.
You notice that? I'm like, wait a second, hold on a second here. Her face, she seems always mad or irritated. You notice this? Yes, she seems always mad. What's going on? I mean, we knew she was always the grown up,
Yeah. She does seem very upset lately, bro.
Now we got two grown ups running the ship, And now she's even gone I feel like she's even gone harder. I don't know.
Yeah. There's her words are very sharp. How was Shakiro's backstage pass to Thailand show? God,
Whoa, they figured it out. Good job, Archmage.
you're right though. I believe her demeanor, her actions, her face, her words are all very sharp and I mean right there. Like, is there a single shot of this chick smiling? Like, for real. I'm not saying like, oh, you should smile more. I think the character has lost a lot of the charm that it had because every episode she's sort of angry with everyone. Oh, I like this. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, this is going to be an upvote, right?
100%, yeah.
All right.
So downvoting Kelly's kind of weird character change.
Okay.
And even adds a little bit. And then, but upvoting Mark.
Yes, upvoting Mark. John Burns, her eyebrow raised like Spock first ever. Yeah, it's like, She's always pissed off, man. I don't get it.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, this something changed for me in this episode, guys.
What do you mean?
Can you put it on Mark again?
I'm trying to without getting copyright claimed.
Oh yeah. That's it. So listen, I really like seeing Mark as Isaac. I like seeing Isaac not as a robot.
Yeah, I did too.
A lot, like a whole lot.
Yeah.
Like, to me, the character just immediately like tripled and quadrupled in like factor. And I know it's a natural human reaction, and but now I almost felt like he was more like, I don't want to say Data, but that's the burn off. But now I kind of understand Isaac a little better for whatever, because he has a face. And we talked about this in season 1, Brian. Remember? We talked about, is this going to be a problem that Isaac is this robot who doesn't have a face?
Yeah, and I feel like Mark Jackson was doing his best to like bring emotion out of that non-emotive robot.
Yeah,
but he's so much better as this version of Isaac.
I really enjoyed the whole episode because you get some sort of, even though he doesn't have emotions, you get these emotional reactions from looking at him.
Right.
And I really enjoyed that a lot. In fact, I think it's worthy of 2 upvotes. So I would like to give a second one.
Wow.
That's how much I liked it. It changed the entire dynamic of the character for me.
The infamous
as much
2
as
upvotes.
Yeah. I know we can't do anything about the Kalons, but if they can find a permanent way to make Mark, instead of to allow Mark to be on the screen, I think that would be so great.
Yeah, I agree. And it would make sense for fractured vision. Been expecting Isaac to use a hologram all the time to make it better for the crew for efficiency's sake. I like that.
Very much so.
Yeah, I agree with that. In fact, it would make sense, you know? All right. So they take off the Earth, and here starts the jabs to our current time frame.
I love LA.
Yeah. So first off,
right here.
First off, real quick. We get it, guys. We get it. You hate 2024, 2025.
No, 2020. No, now. Current.
I mean, yeah. We get it. The actors and the writers hate the current time we live in. But it's not really the current time's fault. You're landing your ship in Los Angeles. You work and you live in Los Angeles. Los Angeles is an absolute cesspool. It is garbage city. It's literally half the city is literally garbage. Half of LA is literally just piles and piles of trash, right? Lining the streets. Like, if you've ever seen the movie Escape from LA, remember with Kurt Russell?
Oh yeah.
There are parts of LA that look like Escape from LA.
Well, okay, well, yeah.
I'm not even joking here. There are entire streets that are no longer passable. You can no longer drive your vehicle because they have been taken over by entire homeless shanties.
You're right, actually. That
villages of homeless people. There are needles on the floor, human feces on the concrete. Of course you don't like this time frame because you work and you live in one of the worst cities in the entire United States. Of course.
So if you guys don't realize it, what Kelly says here, I don't know if you caught it or not. She's like, very spitefully, she said, and talking she said they don't realize what we had to do to fix what they ruined or what they messed up. We had to fix what they messed up. And she said it with a visceral hate. Now, this is the problem. She didn't live in 2000. Kelly, this character didn't live in 2020, 2022.
Right.
She didn't live in this time frame, but she's acting like she's angry and frustrated like a person living here now, dealing with now's problems. And so that is definitely, bad acting or bad writing or whatever you want to call it.
Whatever. It's
not, you're portraying the character incorrectly. This character should not have an emotional connection to the negativity of this time. Like she's got some visceral, like she suffered in some way.
Yeah. She should have no connection to this time. She knows nothing about it other than what she read in a history book. So it makes no sense for the character to have such a poor reaction.
Yeah.
John Burns for $2. E5, Kelly had to deal with a dude with blue testes. I mean, to be fair, that actor is handsome as hell and never ages. I'm just saying.
Rob Lowe was amazing, yeah.
Mingo, upvote for this rant on Los Angeles. Yeah, okay, thanks, man. Appreciate that. I agree with Nate. Another downvote. Okay, all right, here we go. Downvote for Kelly's prejudice toward us. I'll take that right to the bank. All right. Again, though, like it's also like you're landing in Los Angeles, like.
Well, yeah, and it's funny. They actually land. This is actually Simi Valley,
right?
So I used to live here.
Simi
so
Valley's
as soon as
not
they
bad
pop
at all,
open,
yeah.
I'm like, oh, I know exactly where that is. That's a long walk, guys. Wherever they're going.
Yeah. So just so you know, that is too long of a walk.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
Yeah, there's no way you're casually strolling to the airport from that
23
location.
kilometers is definitely not it. But
yeah,
maybe they're going
to
like
28.5 kilometers. What they said.
All right. Well, maybe they're going to like Woodland Hills or something.
Whatever. Like even walking from there where they're at to the road you see,
I would have put you out of breath. You're like, oh shit. No.
Like it would take you it would take you like 4 hours to get that far. It's such a long trip, and the terrain is not flat. It's like mountainous. I don't know.
Well, I guess it could have taken them a day or two to get there. A day.
Yeah, maybe a day.
Where the sun is right there, it's setting, by the way.
Right, and it's setting, and they show up, and it's not. Yeah, they show up, and it's like bright. Yeah,
well, it's because we know that it could be sunrise someplace else.
Maybe they walked. Maybe they legitimately walked there, and it just took like 23 hours.
We needed somebody to walk into the ship. That would have been an Orville episode. Somebody needed to walk into the ship and be like, "Oh, I forgot it was there."
Smack into the ship. Now it's like high noon, bro. You're right. Yeah, it took them a whole day to walk to the Simi Valley Airport.
You know where? No, you know where this is at.
Yeah, where is that?
This is in City of Industry. It's City of Industry.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, there's a tiny little airstrip.
All right, there is no way you are walking from Simi Valley to the City of Industry.
Well, we don't know. Most people have no idea that's where.
It's just not possible.
Right.
It would take you like a week. Right. I love that Gordon's flying. I love that. I'm not gonna downvote the weird walking thing, but what's that?
Good job with the aging. Basically he didn't put his hair care for men in.
Yeah, I like that. That's probably that's probably his natural hair color, dude.
That's what I'm saying. It's probably his current natural color.
Right. Yeah. How old is he? Is he older than you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is, right?
Yeah, he is. I love how that's how we reference it.
right. I want to know. All right.
He must be because he's 50, so he's
he's older. Yeah,
Little
so,
over a year
so he's
older.
definitely using the hair care for men or whatever.
100%. Yeah.
All right, so when they walk up, I actually gonna downvote it. First off,
It was really weird.
yeah, why?
It was so
Why
weird.
does she look so pissed off?
Well, they are mad about the whole. Well, you can explain it now. The time thing.
I'll tell you
They're
why.
married.
I'll tell you why they look pissed off. They just walked from Simi Valley to fucking City of Industry. I'd be pissed
mad
off.
too.
I'd be mad too, bro. But like they look so angry. It's ugh. John Burns for $2. I spotted his wedding rings he was singing. Oh, really? Oh, I gotta go back and look at that. I didn't notice that. So yeah, they look angry. This whole awkward thing, like you would think Gordon would be like, guys, what's up, guys? Just
Well, it has been 10 years. Now, he's not the one I'm disappointed by.
I know I'm disappointed by them.
It's their reaction to him I mean, you can see it on their faces. They should be happy to see him. The fact that they found him, the fact that he's alive, the fact that, they
Right.
should be like, oh my God, we found you. They just
Right.
went through an entire ordeal to get him back.
He just walked from Simi
they're mad
Valley
at
to the City of Industry. Right, and
You know
that's
what I'm
another
saying?
question. All right, so there's so many questions here, and this is why, while this episode should have been like fantastic,
It was, though. No, it was.
and there's so many. For me, there are a lot of questions got brought up that really threw it off for me.
Okay.
Now, Scott Grimes did amazing. He did. His whole family thing was outstanding. But here we go. We just figured out time travel exists, yet somehow there are already time travel laws that every union officer already knows about. I'm not even sure that's a thing.
problem.
That's a problem.
That's
So-
a downvote.
Yeah, that's a downvote, right?
There's no way there's temporal laws created in the last 2 years that everybody's immensely familiar with exactly how it works. That seemed very off to me.
It seemed very off. And then also, like, he's got to keep a low profile. How low of a profile do you expect him to keep? Does he just die in the woods then? Like,
That's what they said. They said you should have.
there's got to be a better protocol than that, right?
They said that basically you should have. What did you want me to die out there? And then I believe who said yes. One of them said yes. You should have died. It would have been better if you would have died. And I was like, this does not feel right.
No.
There's something wrong with the way that this is being delivered. The amount. I know what they were trying to accomplish, and that's why it's a plot device, and it's not great. They wanted to get Gordon upset. They wanted the acting from Scott Grimes to be natural and real, and so they needed to have some sort of antagonistic thing occur in order for him to get upset enough for it to have the impact it did. But they could have done that and still been kind, and it could have been Grimes's character, who was maybe a little bit irrational about the whole thing. Instead of these guys being out of character in order to get him to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Yeah, like did the time travel rules not exist when it was Kelly's thing? Like, ugh. Okay. John Burns did say when he was signing, not singing. Okay, I see, when he came off the plane. Because I thought maybe you saw it when he was singing at the beginning of the episode. Okay, so he's like, he goes, okay, all right, guys, take a drive with me. And he basically takes them to his, I'm just going to skip to that part because we're going to get past all this. Takes him to his house, right?
Right. Well, I'm like, whoa. Yeah, and at that point, I'm like, okay, he's got a family. Like, you can kind of tell what's about to happen.
Right. Now, if you got trapped, all right, here's the deal. If I got trapped anywhere for 10 years, at what point are you done waiting for the rescue party and you're doing your own thing?
Well, it was 3 years for him. So it was 3. He waited 3 years.
So props, 3 years is a long time. I would wait like 3 months and I'd be like, yeah, all right, F this.
I would have been like a week, and I'm like, I got to go eat. Did you ever hear the story about the guy from World War II, who was a Japanese soldier who was in Guam fighting, and he didn't. I'm sorry. Was it? Yeah, was it World War II, or was it? Yeah, World War II. Japanese soldier went into the woods, hid when the Americans came and took Guam, and he hid there for like 35 or 40 years in the woods and survived until they found him like in the 70s, bro.
Wow.
He was afraid the war wasn't over, so he never came out.
Wow. That's
impressive.
So
Gordon, come on, Gordon, man up. No,
man up, bro.
We wouldn't have done it.
John Burns says Gord in the woods was like Chris Pratt in Passengers.
Oh, yeah, because Chris was stuck. Chris Pratt's character was stuck on the ship that was going like a long ways, remember?
Oh.
So he had no friends, nobody to talk to. He was basically, and he ended up waking up that girl so that he could.
That's right. That was a good movie, man.
Yeah, it was a really good movie.
Yeah, the drought is over in 2025. Oh, it looks like they filled up Lake Mead, everybody. We're good.
Right.
That's a good point. A lot of green grass out there. A lot of green grass in the trouble.
Well, they could be doing what a lot of us do, which is
just ignore the drought.
Ignore the drought.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Look, Lake Mead has only dropped 185 feet since last June. It's cool. Oh, we can't generate electricity anymore. Now it's just a pond. Oh crap, we have nothing to drink.
No, it's a little scary what's happening in Southern California with this drought stuff.
Yeah, especially with Lake Mead. Lake Mead is
Lake Powell, which also feeds out here. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, I do find it interesting though how like this horrible time that Kelly keeps referring to, and they're like blissfully driving through like manicured lawns on PCH with
everything's cool.
Yeah, everything's fine. Everyone's being nice. I don't know, man. Maybe you should have. You know what? You should have been true to it. If you're gonna complain about the time we live in, show actual Los Angeles. Show it. I want to see real Los Angeles. I want to see Gordon Malloy driving his clearly Kia, Toyota, whatever, Camry through like 15th and Alameda and having to roll the windows up and make a joke with it like, oh, don't look at them. Don't look at them. Don't look at their eyes. Don't look at their eyes. I want to see that. I want to see real Los Angeles here.
No, it's crazy, man. I used to pull up over there and just get out, and I was immediately accosted and asked for money constantly.
Yes, there is a boat that's sunk in Lake Mead. Yeah. In fact, they found a bunch of boats. Lake Mead is going to be dead water in a year. You're right, Frank. Fracture Vision. I just saw a whole report on that. Lake Mead, in less than a year, if they don't fill it up with water from somewhere else, it's going to be dead water, which means dead water means it can no longer produce electricity because there's not enough water to turn the turbines, which is a very bad thing for like everybody. So hopefully they figure that out. I don't know.
So are you going to interrupt me again?
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Totally cut me off for that comment, which is a great comment, by the way.
It is a great
but I was right in the middle of explaining something that happened.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Ryan wants to do the show by himself, I see. Okay.
I don't. I get distracted. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's what it is. He's bored by listening to my voice. But essentially, there are entire streets of homeless population that you guys. I wish we should go out and film it sometime and just show them.
I wonder if I can. Like, I might be able to show you actually.
It's insane. It really is.
Oh yeah,
complete total overpasses.
Yeah, here's the deal. This is not hyperbole. Like we're not like, oh, we saw a homeless guy. We're like, oh, the vapors. No, guys.
Suffer and succotash.
Look, we've actually lived here our whole lives, pretty much.
No, yeah, we have our whole lives. Yeah, well, I was gone in the military for a lot of years, but you've lived there your whole life.
I've lived there my whole life, and I was gone in the military for 4 years. So I was away for about 4 years. You're away for about 15 years. But this is that's not Tijuana, Mexico.
Oh yeah, that's downtown LA, man.
That's downtown Los Angeles. Like that's where commerce happens in Los Angeles.
People
like
driving by there, right there, yeah.
Yeah, there are businesses that have to like wade through the homeless camps
Well, you can't walk through these streets. You can't walk down the sidewalks.
Yeah, to like open their like donut shop. Here, I'll show you another one. It's here.
Fractured vision. It's not your fault, fractured vision. Okay, it's Brian's fault. So you keep commenting.
Look, guys, here, look. This is literally Figueroa and the Civic Center. It's like the heart of Los Angeles. The entire sidewalk is just homelessness.
Yeah.
It's and these are like, honestly, these are sort of like the nice pictures. There's way worse.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say though, you found a good one.
Like
that's like a little neighborhood.
I'm trying to find like the high resolution ones, you know. It's so bad. It's just, oh god.
You can still look at the sign in that picture. The picture you showed. It's
Here
like
you
all
go. That's Los Angeles. That's Los Angeles.
Oh, there you go. That's more like it.
Yeah.
Go back one. That one. That's what it really looks like out there.
Yeah, it's bad. It's like we're not exaggerating. It's as bad as I thought it would ever get. I don't think it could be worse. And most people just sort of ignore the fact that half the city is just a garbage dump now. And it's surreal.
And the sanctuary cities.
Like people are working, like they work in like studios, like Fox Studios, and they're working in there, and they leave the studio and they drive by homelessness and garbage, and they get on a freeway past homelessness and garbage, a lot of garbage, and then they have to like actually detour around parts of the city to get home, because entire cities of streets have been shut down and everyone's ignoring it. It's like no one's, like, we're talking about it, but politicians aren't talking about it. Actors aren't talking about it. No one of like value is talking about the fact that half the city they work in has been literally taken over by garbage. It's the craziest thing. It's the craziest thing. I don't understand. I don't even. Are they afraid to talk about it because they don't want to like sound mean or something? Like
No, they can't talk about it because all the politicians are, left-wing Democrats.
Oh, because they're on the side. Because they're on the side of those people. Yeah, they don't want to cause them trouble.
They can't talk out about it because it would go against their political parties.
Is there a Running Man show in 2025?
Thank you. Yes, the Running Man, Snake Plissken. Yeah, we got it.
Yeah. What was the guy's name from Escape from LA?
Oh, Snake Plissken.
Oh, that was his name, right? I thought it was like Snake Eyes or something.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going with it.
Yeah, donut shops blocked off, the poor cops, all about terrible things, nothing about Ukraine kicking Ruski's ass. I see where your sympathies lie low. Thank you, John Burns. Listen, you guys don't understand. It's I need my donuts. Okay? If you're gonna block off the donuts, it's a serious problem for me.
It's a problem.
It's a problem. Okay, I need donuts. You're right. There is other problems in the world. You're right. I'm just saying the reason we bring it up is because we actually live here, and so we see it. I guarantee you, if we lived in Ukraine, that's probably all we'd talk about.
Yeah, I don't want to live in Ukraine right now.
I don't want to live there either. All right, so Isaac, Alamark, and Charlie are going to go find the optimal drilling site. Now, they also say it's like 28.6 kilometers away. And I'm like, they're never going to make it there. So I'm really glad that they...
Yeah.
Like that's so far away.
Well, at least they realize that and they get transportation.
Yes, I did like that part. They're like, we need.
Wasn't that great? That whole scene.
Yes, it was. We're gonna get there. He's asking her like what kind of music you like. He's trying to like make friends with her because it's like he wants to say thank you for saving his life, but he's having a hard time doing it.
Yeah, because she won't let him.
Right.
Has somebody explained to her that he is part of the problem, but he's also the one that saved everybody?
Right. Like that's the reason they're alive right now, you mean?
Yeah. The reason she's alive and everybody else. And
they go into a typical biker bar. I gotta be honest, that's another thing too. This is the most tame biker bar I've ever seen in my life.
Well, they're easier now, especially out near Simi Valley. they're not quite as this hardcore.
Bro. There's I've been to biker bars that are like, yo, what? Who is gonna die tonight? Like, it is gnarly. And this biker bar is like, it's fine. It's TV show.
Yeah, this was a little bit disturbing.
I'm from Texas, and she's like, just drinks him under the table.
Well, no, it was disturbing because when she sets up the bet, right, to do the arm wrestling.
Right.
He's like, well, what do I want? What do I win? Because he put up the bike. She's like,
whatever you want, big boy.
I'm like, oh dang, that was like.
I'm like, yo, she's gonna die.
All of a sudden. I'm like, what does that mean?
She's in a biker bar. She's offering.
Whatever. I'm like, holy cow, you don't understand.
Yeah. She hasn't been in 2025 for. She doesn't understand our time frame. You don't say that to people. They just don't. They take it literal. All right. I got to restart this again.
I definitely loved. So of course they find the biggest guy and they're going to do the arm wrestling scene. And I just love the way Mark and Isaac. I love the way Isaac plays this moment because she tells him, don't make it believable, right?
Right.
And so we end up getting to the scene. I'll talk about in a second. What does Fractured Vision said? She is so not believable.
Yeah, and
you're right. That's the problem with this character.
Right.
Is she's a caricature of a character. Ann Winters doesn't have a lot of experience, and I think she's trying to bring the best she can to this character. They haven't set her up for success because of her antagonistic relationship with Isaac, but she also hasn't earned our respect yet as a character on this show.
Right.
And she seems to dash it all the time with these over the top moments.
Yeah, she does constantly. Now this was interesting. Like I liked it when Isaac was like, what are some of your hobbies to the biker guys? He's trying to like
she's like, shut up.
He's trying to make friends with them. All right, yeah, so that's what she offers them. Look, we get your bikes. And the guy they picked too is like has the biggest arms I've ever seen on a human being. Like, look at this.
This is great.
It's a big dude, man. But we get your bikes, and if you win, you get anything. He's like, all right.
I got to tell you,
I'm gonna eat you while you're watching.
Well, I got to tell you, the great thing about this is when she tells him to make it believable, and Isaac starts losing, right? Charlie gets like really nervous for a second, and the weight of doing anything really starts to sink in, right?
Right. She's surrounded by a bunch of like thugs.
Yeah, like this could be really bad.
Yeah.
So Isaac plays that really well. He's like, "Oh no, I'm losing.
Oh no, I'm losing." And yeah, no. Mark Jackson did a great job.
Oh, he's phenomenal. Did we already upvote him?
Yeah,
I did it twice.
The standouts for me this entire episode was Mark Jackson and Scott Grimes for sure.
100%.
We did get more of Charlie. Oh God, this entire scene was so hard to watch, Shane. It was so awkward and so like, are they talking to strangers? I don't get it.
Yeah, it's they come across as very wooden, Ed and Kelly. This also happened a little bit back in the original episode when he wanted them to meet her, and they were disapproving of kind of what was going on. And it was also the same kind of, they didn't get kind of what was going on, and that was all right. But at this point, they understand that he's done something wrong, but they just don't seem like themselves, man.
They don't. So we're upvoting the, oh no, I'm losing. I'm going to upvote that too, actually.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. That's my side Mark upvote.
Yeah. Yeah, you're totally right. Like, so wooden and sort of like their faces say it all. Every time the screen lands on their faces,
every time
it's this. It's like a mixture of disgust and apathy.
Yeah, it's really unappealing.
It really is, bro. Like, this is like their friend that they've known since before the Union.
I mean, can't they empathize or sympathize? I mean, there's no, that's what it is. There's no empathy here. There's no empathy or there's no sympathy. And these characters are very empathetic. They're very sympathetic characters. And they have not been that way at all. Downvote this for me.
Yeah.
They have not been themselves.
Yeah,
That's all I got to say.
You're right. They haven't been themselves. Yeah, and we're going to get to live at the Love Shack. Ed Mercer's an unacceptable and common info. Time travel back 10 years already. He did nothing wrong. You're right. And I actually said that offline when Shane and I were talking about it. I was like, I don't even understand why they even mention that we're going to travel we're going to time travel back and take your family with us.
We're not there yet.
You're right.
We're not
I'm
there
sorry.
yet.
It's so annoying. Yeah. They're explaining how they met, blah, 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 whatever. We'll get past this. This doesn't matter. I guess this is also trying to like get the purpose of this whole conversation is for the audience to realize that Gordon is happy and in love with a family. That's the purpose of that. And it works. Obviously, we feel for Gordon. I get it.
Meanwhile, back on the moon.
Yeah, it's back on the ship. Tala gives
kind of funny. This is a good Orville moment. This is good.
This was, yeah. So first, I want to get a massage by a Selayan for sure.
That was immediately what I thought. I'm like, whatever is happening here, I don't even like massages that much. And I got to tell you that whatever's happening here, John sold it.
Yeah, he
just
really did.
Jay Lee sold this so hard that I believed that whatever was happening was very close to orgasmic.
Yeah. Yeah. Looked that way too.
Well, and that's the message, that everybody else is kind of looking up there going, what the heck's going on up there, right?
Yeah. I did not expect them to just go out and bang, FYI.
Well, I didn't either, which was, I think, the ironic part of it. Like, they're looking up there and that's kind of the joke, but we did get some foreshadowing to this a couple episodes. Remember when they were at the bar together and there was kind of some feeling eyes going on back and forth?
Yeah, Lamar was like, yo, that felt really good. And okay. John Byrne says, where do they keep the condoms? They don't need condoms in the future, bro.
What?
They don't need condoms in the future.
I need more than that. Like, why?
Like, for a fact that disease has been wiped out. I'm sure they have female and male birth control. And according to the last week's episode, abortion is a very easy, no problem thing. So let's say you're not on birth control. Let's say you get pregnant. Just go take a trip to the doc the next day, knock it out real quick. You don't need condoms if there's no disease and you don't care about having kids.
All right. Fair enough. And I agree with Fractured Vision. The crew's reaction in engineering was awesome.
It was good. I mean, you don't really need abortions either. You just choose when you're going to be sterile or not, I'm assuming. I actually saw an article that they're working on some male birth control thing too. That's like that actually might have promise.
That's
so
cool.
No more of the frat bros like, oh yeah, man, this condom doesn't feel good. Oh, just get the birth control, bro. Oh, wait, what? Oh, what? No more excuses, dude.
Yeah, this is it right here. This is good. He finally loses his temper. And, he says some really important things here. I waited 10 years. It's been 10 years. I waited 3, and he's like, don't talk to me about, and it's true. Like, but what's weird about it is there's, like I said before, there's no empathy. There's no like, yeah, we understand or nothing. It's just simply, no, you're guilty. You knew better. It was just seemed like a very wrong conversation to have. Unreasonable completely.
Yeah. And this doesn't make any sense too. Again, I'm going to keep harping on this. Gordon, you're guilty of about 50 counts of temporal contamination. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what are the 50 counts? And so I know he had a kid. Maybe that was bad.
Yeah, someone explained to me where all the temporal laws came out when last season, like they invented the time travel thing last season. I don't.
Well, they needed to have some reason, I guess, to have the. I guess you probably they need. Yeah, when they wrote this one, and I got to tell you, I got to give Seth a lot of huge props because he wrote a lot of really great episodes. But maybe he shouldn't have gone this route for these characters in this one. Maybe he shouldn't have gone the whole breaking temporal things to create some sort of animosity between the characters. Maybe it could have been as simple as, you're a Union soldier. It could have just been as simple as you're a Union guy. You have a commitment to what we're doing, not here. That could have created the animosity and the frustration. Hey, we're not going to leave you here. You don't know what's best for you, Gordon.
Right.
You're coming home. We're bringing you whether you like it or not. We understand what you're going through. We understand what you're feeling, and I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, but this is not the way the future is supposed to be. And
right.
This is what we have to do. Why didn't it go down like that? Why did it have to be this whole you're breaking union law thing?
You're breaking laws. We're taking you by force. Like, what? All right. Yeah, zero empathy. That's really what it came down to. John Burns for $2 says, as long as it's not injected with a needle, lol. Yeah, true that. I'll take it. And why not? Pill? Give me a pill.
Yeah, and I think Geek Flag, Nate Knows 73, says here, this is actually a good point. They do understand the ramifications. Gordon, yes, he shouldn't have married this girl according to what time was. He shouldn't have married this girl because she was supposed to be with somebody else. And he probably shouldn't have had a kid. Those are things that were wrong. But they were mad before they even found out he had a family.
Yeah, they were mad. Yeah, from the get.
As soon as they found out he died at 96, they were mad. Before they even went back in time, they were mad at him.
And again, we figure out that there's an easy way to fix this problem without threatening your friend and his family. But you don't have a story. So if they never say anything to him, we don't have the exchange. So there has to be a way to generate this emotion. But there should have been empathy. And then they should have been like, you're right, Gordon. We'll figure it out. And they would have walked away and then been like, we have to go back 10 years.
Right. And there's Archmage Frey says it here, especially after Ed just learned he has a kid to do this.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, the Scott Grimes acted his butt off. Absolutely.
100%.
Great. But
Did we upvote that? We need to upvote his acting.
Yeah. But I also do not feel like the characters are acting like themselves. The last couple episodes, but especially this episode. John Burns for $2. Time machine breaks, then John Lemore 400-year solution. Yeah, we're gonna get there. Hold up on that.
Yeah, we're definitely talking about that.
That's a whole thing too. Yeah, Scott sells it even if it's kind of broken. Yeah, I agree. He does. Scott does sell it. And we're not just saying that because he's a nice guy who actually talks to us. Like he really does sell it. He does a good job. For a minute there, I almost heard the Steve Smith voice coming out too.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
For like a quarter of a second, I thought he was getting high pitched enough for it to almost sound like Steve Smith.
Well, and I love this thing that he talks about here. He goes, "I had to kill animals," right? And he's like, "Do you know?" He goes, "Do you know what that did to my head? Because I guess in their time you don't kill animals, right?
Yeah,
but it's okay in our time." Right. And he really sold that as being like a PTSD thing where he had to kill things, to survive.
So how does that work in the future then? It's like synthesized protein, maybe?
Maybe. Yeah. Oh, we don't really know. Well, everything's from the egg salad sandwich came from a machine.
Oh yeah. So it's like the replicator or whatever. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, Seth's live at the Love Shack. Yeah, Seth's strength is in his writing and in his creating, but he's definitely not your best actor.
Yeah, he's not. But especially when he's trying to be like a hard ass,
it doesn't come off well.
It doesn't come off well.
This whole season, he's been just. I mean, we want him to be the leader and the captain of the ship. But it's like him and Kelly are like this dynamic duo of leadership now. Like there's no they're both hardcore. So I don't know if it really works. You got to have one to offset the other.
So he does tell his wife, by the way, and she pretty much already knew it, I guess.
Or sensed it. Yeah, they talked about, it was cool. They did talk about, the COVID, right? They talked about, he said everything was going to be okay, and she believed him. So I thought it was nice that they included the pandemic, which is something that, that happened. So.
Yeah. I'm really surprised there was no Trump reference or whatever.
So far, there hasn't been any. So,
yeah,
but
I'm surprised. John Burns, the ship was damaged. They needed to get fuel for the ship, but they didn't know if they could get back to the future if they went back to the 10 years. Oh, was that what it was?
Originally, yes.
But once they had the fuel, they knew they can get back, right?
Yeah. Well, they knew they were going to get it. I guess they could have waited. They could have waited this out, I guess, to find out if they got the fuel. They didn't have to go all hard on him.
They didn't have to walk from Simi Valley all the way to City of Industry. Come on,
movie magic, baby, movie magic.
At least like make the time of day match. All right, so they're, I guess underneath in the basement of this house is where the optimal drilling site is. So they go in there and they pose as a couple, and they're gonna start drilling. I'm just gonna skip to that part.
I just want to be clear that no real estate agent will ever let you be down there that long by yourself without coming to check.
I mean, who knows? Real estate in the future might be real rough, so they might be desperate, dude.
That's true. That could be possible.
Although it was a really nice house and really nice neighborhood, really nice lawns. 2024 ain't looking that bad, bro. I'm just saying.
I love this device. Upvote this device.
Okay.
I love this. I love how there's like this. I don't know who created these props and stuff, but they get in close on it, and it really looks like something that would actually do what they're trying to do.
Okay. I guess that's fair. I'm not gonna give him an upvote, but I agree with you.
I liked it.
All right, so this is the moment. So while the thing is like drilling, yes. Here's the moment where he's like trying to like connect with her and make it right because she's a maniac, and she's like, don't dick around. What's the deal? And really, she explains to him that during the Kalon attack that she blames him for, the friend that she lost was more than a friend. It was like a potential lover, and she's gay. And Isaac is pretty much emotionless.
Well, that's the only way he can be about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's got her own things going on here. I mean, she said she saw this more as a friend and more as I guess she secretly liked her. And that's why she's so angry. So I guess if it had just been a friend, she wouldn't be as angry. But she feels like the potential loss because she never got a chance to tell her how she felt. It was a little convoluted there for the whole explanation. I guess they want us to understand why Charlie is so crazy hating against Isaac, I guess. But it doesn't make the character any more likable. And this explanation of why she's mad at Isaac did not, to me, relieve the situation.
No. And
had we found out they were secretly lovers or something, or had we found out they were more than friends?
But that didn't add anything. That didn't.
Well, no, but if we had found out that they actually were, like, let's say they were, instead of being friends, they were actually partners, right? They were actually in love with each other. There was an actual relationship there. Then I could be like, okay, I get it. You just killed, like, imagine if somebody killed my wife. I would never forgive you. Right.
Right.
So I get that. But this was like it wasn't even a relationship to that degree. So to have her hold on to it for that long without seeing any merits of Isaac, still after 6 episodes, she still doesn't see any merits in Isaac. I'm just trying to figure out where this is going. Like at some point, are we going to redeem this character or is it unredeemable?
I don't know, but I'm going to downvote this because it didn't add anything to anything.
I agree. Me as well.
Archmage phrase. Oh, first of all, John Verne, upvote for the realization. We just broke up. That was good. That was a good line, and we're gonna upvote that.
That was a good line.
Archmage phrase. Is she gay? Question mark. Did we establish with Ed and Derulio that everyone's into all genders in the future? No, I think that was because Derulio had blue guy pheromones or whatever.
He made everybody happy.
What's the actor that plays Derulio?
It's I just said it earlier in the show.
Yeah.
It's I just drew it's I drew a blank.
Someone tell us in chat. I always forget his name.
I can't believe I just drew a blank on it.
But to be honest, the guy that plays Derulio is a extraordinarily attractive man. And I wouldn't kick him out of bed. Just saying.
It's Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe. Jeez.
I said it earlier. How did I forget all of a sudden?
Guy does not age, man. Chick, we have a time machine. I can't read the whole thing, but it's really funny. Rob Lowe. We have a time machine. All right. So yeah, that was funny when she comes out and she's like, we just broke up. That was cool. She delivered the line well.
Yep.
She's still extraordinarily unlikable. Like in every way, she's very unlikable. And I just have no interest in that character right now. Maybe it changes, but I don't know how much longer you have to change my opinion on that. What is this? This is episode 6, right?
Yep.
And there are 10 episodes, right?
Yep. 4 more left.
So there's absolutely no way in hell you make me like this character.
Something major could happen.
I guess.
It could.
It
could happen.
I guess you're right. Yes. John Burns, $5. Thank you, sir. It says Charlie was in the escape pod. How long did she wait? What's a long time to stew and think about grudges? Did she want to tell Amanda that day? Oh, maybe,
that's a good point.
Maybe she was like going to confess her love. Yeah, I mean, but like logically thinking though, the Kalon was responsible for the attack, not Isaac. Isaac was an accomplice who defied his programming and turned on the Kalon so we can all live. Blaming every one of one species for the sins of their predecessors makes no sense. It's not logical.
Well, it's different. I mean, it's different. Like, let's say you got Kirk, right, who hates the Klingons, or maybe there's a good reason for that. So if you spend enough time around one Klingon, let's say Worf, right, or a Klingon that is good and honorable and is trying to do the right thing all the time, eventually your attitude changes.
The best Klingon, Goron, for the glory of the Empire.
That little guy was going to stab you in the back at some point, man. Sorry, with big eyes. So it's just taking a lot of time.
I did like this fake TV show with Knoxville.
Oh, Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah. And I always forget this guy's name, but he's from he was from 30 Rock.
He's Jack McBrayer.
I would 100% watch a TV show like an Odd Couple kind of thing with those two characters.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, for sure. Now this scene right here, this is it.
The Death Squad, dude.
Okay, this is Invasion of the Body Snatchers for me.
Jeez, I'm downvoting this so hard.
If you guys have ever seen Invasion of the Body Snatchers, okay, downvote for me as well. This is what it looks like when your friends that you love and know, you answer the door and their faces look like this. It's like it's not them. They had their bodies snatched, and now they're coming for you. And that's exactly what this felt like. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's not good.
No, it's not good.
There's no care, there's no love, there's no nothing. And then Seth doubles down with the comment of then he tells him we're just going to go back 10 years and get you. It's like, why did you got to tell him?
Why do you even got to say that? Even if it's what you have to do, why would you say that?
Why would you tell him?
It's like it's like you're mad at it's like you hate Gordon all of a sudden.
Right.
It's like Gordon is the villain, and you're gonna take care of the villain with force.
That's what it feels like.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
I mean, let's say you want to bring him back by force. Even our resident Zelayan here, there's no like, I'm sorry. It's straight up business. You know what I mean?
And by the
it's
way,
like she don't even know him.
By the way, Tala, we can see the ridges on your nose. I don't know what you're trying to hide.
No. It's not too bad. I guess you could call it a scar.
I'm not complaining about that, but like you're right. It's like the scene. It was so wooden and lacked of motion. It doesn't work for their character. Any of their characters. Whole thing doesn't make sense.
Thanks again, John. Have a good night.
Later, brother. Thank you, John.
But yeah, this scene that we're about to see is so good.
But then Grimes definitely saves the scene when his invasion of the body snatcher friends are like, yeah, we're gonna go back in time and
there it is, yeah,
delete your family. So
upvote this for me.
So here's the issue. This is where we're torn. Like, okay, yes, I'm also gonna upvote this. Scott Grimes did a good job. I hate the character, the changing character for Ed and Kelly and Tala. It doesn't make any sense. None of that makes sense. The scene doesn't make sense, but the reaction from Scott and his family is so heartwarming. It's like
heartbreaking.
It's like hot and cold water coming out of the same tap. It's really, really hard to dislike this because he does such a good job, but it also doesn't make any sense in the first place. So,
I mean, the fact that he says, I'll love you, no space, no, what is it? Did he say? Nothing in space or time can.
No, he says our family is stronger than time.
Stronger than time. That's what it was.
Which is
just fantastic.
Yeah. Although Shane and I were talking about this beforehand too. Like, he pulled that gun out. I mean, I would have probably shot him.
Right? Yeah. Like you aren't taking. And
his face, his face is like, he goes from anger and disgust to apathy, and now he feels sorry for Gordon because Gordon is a small little man. It's like nothing of the characters, their actions and their emotions don't work. They don't work.
Yeah. If you were gonna kill my family, this is gonna become a Quentin Tarantino film really quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's just gonna
I'm putting bullets in you.
Right.
I'm putting bullets in you. It isn't even a question.
You're never going to make it back to the ship. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Especially when you're casually walking away. Like, you're not making it back. I'm vaporizing all three of you right here.
Right. Yeah. We got history, but these are my kids.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that dumb face she's always making.
I don't know. It's like everywhere. It's a constant.
Every time. She's just a massive D-bag. She looks like Cruella DeVille. Every scene, man.
They need some serious Kelly redemption over the next couple episodes.
They really do. It's like, dude, lighten up, man. Jesus. All right, so they leave. So this is the part when he's like, all right, we're just gonna go back 10 years and rip your family from your hands. Like, what the?
Crazy. What? You never needed to say a thing.
I'm downvoting that right now. That's
I think we already did.
We did. You're right. I can't downvote it twice.
I'm going to downvote it again.
Why would you tell him? It's not even good writing because, like, it doesn't do anything, dude. Like, man, I don't know. It's so out of character for Seth. It's so out of character for his friends. And the only reason this guy can be their friends afterwards is because he didn't actually experience it.
Because he didn't know, yeah.
Like, let me tell you something. You think Charlie's mad at Isaac?
That's nothing yet.
That's nothing. Like, imagine Gordon knowing all this information, dude.
Well, he does learn.
I mean, I guess they tell him technically, which also
But
is like
he didn't feel it. He didn't
that's
feel it.
also like torture. Well, I don't even know why you want to. Anyway.
Well, I'll tell you why they did it, and I don't like that either.
Right? Yeah, it's to make them look better, right? To like
Yes, it's to let them off the hook.
Right, to let them off the hook.
But the problem is, we'll talk about
totally handling that wrong.
Well, yeah, so they handled it wrong. So they didn't show any empathy or anything the whole time, and then all of a sudden now you've got Gordon. You've got Ed saying, there's 2 kids that aren't going to be born, and all of a sudden now he's got this care and concern and sadness for what happened. But they didn't show any of that. They didn't even show it off camera. Like when they got away from Gordon, they could have had a moment between them saying this is just awful and what there was really no like actual genuine I give a crap about Gordon happening here. Not really.
Right. All right. Now we do get this good moment where Lamar is like, okay, so all right, so this is interesting. So the device is broken. He says it's going to take 6 months to fix. It's weird. Like apparently they don't have 6 months to fix it. Or they do, but they don't want to.
They do.
They want to instead they want to take this risk, right? Why don't they just fix the device?
Maybe they didn't feel like there was a big risk. I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't really understand that. I feel like they could have just fixed the device. And that could have been a nice callback when they're like, oh, well, you know what? 6 months from now, we fix the device.
I mean, how would that have worked?
I don't know. They could play with that whole time thing where, like, they say they're going to do something, and as long as they follow through, it happens right then.
I don't know if that would have worked. Because you couldn't send them back to themselves. It's the whole ship.
I don't know. You know what they should have done? They should have ended with them waiting 6 months to fix it.
I guess it wasn't very dramatic. I think the reason they probably didn't do that is it would have been a pretty lame way to end the episode.
Yeah, so the risk was they got to disable the safeties on the quantum drive that allows them to avoid the Einstein-Rosenberg principle, where it's like, hopefully I'm saying this right. Basically, the closer you get to the speed of light, the faster time moves around you,
right,
while you don't move, right? So while you are aging at the same rate that's within your bubble, because you are traveling so close to the speed of light, time around you is moving faster. Now, I do not believe time is moving 400 years faster, but whatever. So I guess the quantum drive has a feature, a safety device that allows you to avoid that.
It had something to do with the shielding.
That side effect. So that's another part of it. Because you avoid that side effect, you don't have particles moving at like, the speed of light at you, right? But also that means that if they calculate it wrong, then a little piece of microdust can like destroy their ship. So they got to like put extra juice into the shields.
Right. Deflectors, yeah.
Yeah, the science got really wonky. But regardless, the quantum drive has a built-in safety feature that allows them to not feel the effects of the Einstein-Rosenberg principle that the closer you get to speed of light, the faster time moves around you versus you move with it. So they disable that feature, and they leap or warp or whatever it's called. What is it called?
Quantum drive.
Quantum leap. Whatever.
Quantum leap.
They jump, they blink, whatever it is.
They drove really fast.
They drove really fast to one side of the galaxy, and then back, and it was basically 200 years each way.
Yeah.
So it's relatively inside the bubble, time goes slower relative to the outside the bubble. Right. So, the theory of relativity, right? Okay. So they use that principle to move to then move through time instead of use the time machine to travel back.
Some cool graphics happen there. +1 for the graphics.
Yeah,
on time
really
travel.
cool graphics. I agree with that. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like it
It didn't bug me.
didn't bug you at all?
Time travel is already so damn complicated. I was just kind of intrigued to actually get another. I love that they tried to science time travel, because usually you don't. Usually it's like plutonium or.
Well, no.
Like-
Yeah, I guess they scienced that version of time travel because
Yeah,
I guess that makes
and you
sense.
can only go into the future.
That's fair. I feel like it opens up a lot of doors though for like.
It could be a problem.
Yeah, I guess it's that for some things you just gotta like turn your brain off.
Yeah, time travel always turn your.
Freaking. That's why like the name of this stream was like freaking time travel, because I'm like, in both episodes it's time travel. I am so tired of time travel, and the weird thing is I used to love it. I used to love everything time travel. I used to watch my favorite movies involve time travel. Back to the Future, one of my favorite movies of all time right now. My favorite movies of recent times is Palm Springs, the time loop movie with
I
Adam
love time
Sandler.
loops.
Great movie.
Well,
Jeez.
Do you know why you love those? Because you're dealing with a time rules that you can understand.
Right.
So in Back to the Future, you have very linear time rules. In Palm Springs or any of the time loop movies, you're dealing with the same day.
Looper.
So it's
a good
not.
movie.
Yeah. So you kind of understand the rules, and when you don't understand the rules, i.e., Endgame, and various other things we've seen lately that were the the multiverse type time travel.
Branch theory.
It's just too much. It's not fun.
Right. So that's the thing. It's like, I guess if you're operating in a linear way, like a sacred timeline kind of thing, then I'm probably into it. The second you are mixing all these theories up and it's impossible to actually track what's happening and anything's possible at any moment, then it gets sloppy, man.
Yeah.
And Dan Harmon, when he was writing Rick and Morty, after like their third season, they're like super popular, right? Like ridiculously popular. People ask him, all right, well, in the show Rick and Morty, there's this box in Rick's garage, and it says time travel stuff. And he's like, why do you have that box in there? He goes, that box is in there to tell the audience that we're never going to do time travel. That's not an Easter egg for when we do it. That's showing that the box is taped up tight and we're not touching the time travel crap.
Love that.
He goes, because it gets too convoluted. And this is a show that literally hops alternate dimensions.
Right.
Which can get super messy and weird. But he was like, I'm still not touching time travel. And the show is based on Back to the Future characters, Doc and Marty. Anyways, all right. Okay. All right. So, and then go Back to the Future. That's about it. So.
Well, they got this final. Okay. Well, there's a final scene.
Go ahead. What do you want to show?
There's a final scene here. I think when it's over.
Real wonky. That's why it's going real slow.
Oh, well, I just wanted to point out they had that scene where, this one here, where they're all sitting there and he gets let off the hook. I just think it's one more time you have to, throughout the entire episode, and listen, for Orville production staff and everybody, who did this, made a great show. The episode's fantastic. The problem here is, unfortunately, the writing and acting of these characters. And I really hope in the last 4 episodes, something shakes loose. It's like after the Kalon attack happened, these characters changed, which I understand that they probably would. But going into this season, the characters are very one-dimensional, very wooden. And I'm talking about Ed and Kelly.
Right.
Very wooden, very one-dimensional characters. Most of the other characters are fine. We haven't seen enough Bortus by far.
By far.
But what happens here is they get let off the hook for what they did by Grimes, who said you did the right thing. No matter what you think, you did the right thing. And
that's a load of horse manure.
he didn't experience it. So of course he wants to come back. And I get this version of himself saying this, but those characters didn't earn it because they didn't seem, they weren't conflicted by what happened. And because there was no inner conflict in these characters, the characters were not very well rounded this episode. And so they didn't earn this forgiveness at the end of the show. So.
Right. Fractured Vision said, Charlie might be right about Isaac, ? Yeah, box top dollar. He said, I want Fractured Vision's questions answered. How did the Kaylin know about the device? Yeah, that's a great question.
We want to know too.
Yes.
We asked at the beginning.
Yeah, at the beginning of the review, we were asked the same question. How do they know? How did they know about the ultra secure, maximum secure, galactic secure, whatever facility? How do they know about it? How do they know to destroy it? How do they know where they would be?
How did they know that Orville had the device?
How do they know the Orville had the device? How? So, we actually downvoted that because if they just know because it's part of the plot to get us to where we went to the show, then that doesn't work. They're going to have to explain at some point over the next 4 episodes where the leak is. There's clearly a leak on the Orville, at Union Central, somewhere. There's a leak somewhere that is informing the Kaylon and the Krill of various things, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
And if there isn't a leak, and they just happen to have stumbled across the most secure station in the galaxy, then that's a cop-out. And, it deserves a downvote. That's simple.
Yeah. And Danny, you're right here. So anyone with a quantum drive can now go into the future. Yes, absolutely. Brian and I talked about this before the show, and I guess the only thing we came up upon was, do you want to go on a one-way trip to the future? Maybe that would be enough to keep people from doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I would like to go to the future. So, the leak could have been communications. Yeah, but how? So that's got to be spelled out, right? Sure, Isaac could have unknowingly given it. There's a lot of options, but you're gonna have to explain. The reason can't be because. Like, it can't be like, why were the Kaylin there? Oh, because. Why did they know about the time travel device? Oh, because. Those aren't good enough answers. So
yeah,
there's got to be a reasonable reason that makes sense and needs to be dealt with prior to the end of the series.
Overall, I really love the episode.
Okay.
Even though there were problems with a couple of characters, overall, I really love the episode a lot. I liked all of the idea. I liked the time travel. I liked everything we experienced with Gordon. I liked the stuff that happened with Isaac. The fact that Mark, we got to see a lot of Mark, and not as the robot. So I'll take an upvote for the entire episode. Overall, there were some things to complain about, but I really did like this episode.
Okay, I'm glad. We're gonna close the upvotes and downvotes. Geek Flag, I saw your upvotes. I counted everyone's upvotes and everyone's downvotes, and the overall score was Shane's score, 9.
All right. See, I was on with the peeps.
So the audience overall score here was 9. So it was a 9. I don't really know how good we just started doing that, so I'm not sure how good that is for the audience.
It's not as good as the Strange New Worlds one was.
Strange New World was much better, yeah. My score is a 5, and if you average our 2 scores together, I gotta be honest, like, the only thing what saved this episode for me was Scott Grimes and Mark Jackson. I thoroughly enjoyed watching them act and play their characters. Loved it. I love the story. I always love the story of like a character living a life that he doesn't actually live. It's a really cool concept. But it was very disjointing, I guess is the only word I can use. And honestly, frustrating watching these characters that I've grown to love, and that they should be acting a certain way. They should be acting a certain way toward their friends and not act that way. and then being let off the hook. It really bothered me. And honestly, Charlie is annoying. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. I don't want to be mean. I'm sure Ann Winters is a fine person. But the character of Charlie, it's getting old, dude. Episode 6 in, and she's still, like, I don't even, what's the purpose of that character? Is it just to be a constant pain to Isaac? Is that, like, the only purpose of the character? So
far.
All right, well, dude, like, it's old. It's officially old. Like, I'm over it. I'm over that character. And so I don't know how they're going to fix that. And I hope that I hope that we get some I hope the characters of Ed and Kelly adjust over the next 4 episodes.
Can I tell you what I think happened this season? And this is not to cut anybody or say anything. I think Seth and everybody went into this going, we need to make season 3 the best season effort. We need to write stuff. We need to make it great. And I think they focused so hard on making really good stories and telling such really good stories that they forgot about the characters.
Yeah.
So they like forgot to focus on, you got to remember, all good television, all good movies is ultimately about the characters and how well you develop your characters. You can have the best story in the whole world, the best premise, the most interesting story in the whole world, but if you have weak characters, it won't end up being great. And I think like Scott Grimes was really great in this episode, but the other characters were wooden and weak. So it's like they kind of seem to have this type of thing happening each episode where you have this, kind of weakness and strength happening where it's just not building the characters all the way through. I think they're focused more on telling the stories as opposed to making sure we love the characters.
Yeah. That's really well said, Shane.
Thank you, sir.
Because that's what we fell in love with watching the characters. Was the characters. Not it's the character. So we need that back. We need the characters back. So we'll see. We have 4 more episodes. That's going to wrap it up for the Orville review. Again, the score was pretty much, what is that? I can't do math. 7? 7. Mm-hmm. And the audience score was 9. So you guys gave it a 9. We gave it a 7. Not bad. Not bad at all. Listen, folks, if you are on your way to the comment section to literally scream at Shane and say, you're wrong, Orville's the best, blah, 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 do that. But on the way down there, please hit the subscribe button and the like button. And if you're watching live right now, hit the like button, my friend.